Hey guys, this is Tiffany with the Nerdettes, and I don't even know where to begin with this latest episode of The Walking Dead. This is the mid-season finale, and if you know anything about Walking Dead, they always want to hit it strong and out of the park with their mid-season finales and their major finales. So with season 8, this is their mid-season finale. This is episode 8, and it's titled How It's Gonna Be, or excuse me, How It's Gotta Be. And I've got that song How It's Gonna Be stuck in my head because the title is so similar, but yeah, it's actually How It's Gotta Be. So I mean, this episode is a whirlwind of stuff happening, and it's all kind of happening at once, and it's like, what is going on? So, I mean, we'll just kind of start from the beginning and work our way to the end of the episode and just talk about it in general. But basically, I mean, gosh, wow. Anyway, so it starts where it left off, where, Rick has arrived at Sanctuary with the people from the junkyard, and he sees, you know, basically all the walkers are no longer surrounding the building. And, he's confused. No one's answering the radio. So him and the people from the junkyard go in to kind of check it out and see what's going on. And of course, he sees the giant hole in the middle of the building. So he goes to check it out, and all of a sudden they start getting fired on. By whom? I don't know, but I'm guessing that Negan and left some of the saviors as lookouts at Sanctuary to shoot at anyone who might try to check it out and see what was going on. So, but then we see Carl. It's like a flashback. This is obviously after Carl tried to help that the kind of traveler, the guy, the drifter, I guess is the best way to put it. And he's talking to Rick about saving people. Because I mean, Rick's kind of gotten to the point where he's just shoot first and ask questions later, personality right now, because he's so used to, people only wanting negative stuff to happen. So, anyways, it's kind of like this flashback about how we need to kind of give some people the benefit of a doubt still, unless there's reason not to. And anyways, so there's like a flash, like you see everybody's faces, like they've done before, and in the midst of all this, you hear Negan whistling, and it's really primarily focusing on Alexandria, and on, of course, Maggie's face, and you see Ezekiel. So as I guess in like their different stages of what's happening currently. So Enid is talking about going to Oceanside, like while they're just kind of driving, and they are talking about going to the women's camp, which, as we know, they don't allow passersby to come in, and wants to basically go talk to them. And they arrive, and unfortunately the grandmother, who is the leader, gets shot by Enid. More in self-defense, like obviously they kind of have them at gunpoint, and she just kind of does it out of like, self-defense, and also kind of as a she's getting a little trigger happy. So anyways, it flashes back to Carl's at Alexandria, leaving Rick a note, and then out of nowhere we hear knocking on the Alexandria gate, and it's Negan knocking with Lucille. Here we go back again to like the previous seasons where he did the same thing. We see like him shouting on a megaphone to the people of Alexandria to surrender, and basically makes it known that there's going to be a lot of apologies and jumping and singing and dancing and doing whatever he wants. And Anyways, out of nowhere we see Rick and crew get hit off the side of the road, and this, like, again, this goes so fast. We see the saviors are hitting the kingdom. We see Ezekiel immediately, is smart and takes cover. Um, they Carl basically, Negan's on this royal countdown and they're about to shoot rockets inside. Carl makes an executive decision since Rick is not there and has them leave and escape, and tells them it's his decision that they have to leave, and that he's gonna try to, like, find them later. So he goes out to the gate and talks to Negan, and it's almost like you get the feeling multiple times during this episode, like we had before, that Negan looks at him like, if I had a son, I'd want him to be like you. You know what I mean? So you get that familial, parental, almost like fatherly pride that Carl is like speaking to him man to man, and basically, tells him, there's women and children and all these people here, kill me. He basically volunteers. And Negan obviously likes him too much to kill him. He's like the one person besides maybe Eugene that he halfway likes. So, but as we actually see very quickly, it's mainly a distraction, and Carl all of a sudden disappears and takes off running, because he's basically been stalling for time for people to get away. Negan and the Saviors shoot rocket launchers inside the Alexandria, and of course there's like napalm and bombs and all this other stuff, possibly grenades. I'm not sure what all they launch in there, but basically they're blowing up Alexandria, and we go back to Maggie, who has been stopped. Like, she and her people, as they're driving down the road, have been stopped by a tree in the road, and automatically she knows it's the Saviors, that somehow they got out. She's not stupid. They've seen this tactic before. So, of course, all these Saviors show up. They have them at gunpoint. Simon drives a little delivery truck up in front of the whole, pack, opens up the back trailer door, and obviously he has one of their men at gunpoint and says that they're going to kill him. Simon basically says to give up their guns, which they do very begrudgingly. And you can quickly tell that they at this point have the upper hand. And again, we're going really fast at this point. It goes back to the kingdom. The Saviors are basically telling them, we're going to stay here. Since y'all messed up our sanctuary, we're going to stay here with you guys, and you're going to do what we say. Basically, just like they're telling the Hilltop, one of your people are going to die, at least one, if not more, and because of what you've done and all the, like, problems you've caused, they say that all the able-bodied men and women are going to come to Sanctuary and rebuild it and, put it back together in one piece so that they can live in it again. And basically, they're looking for Ezekiel, can't find him anywhere, they don't know where he is, and tell the people that he shows himself and gives himself up, or it's going to get very bad very quick. So, and then it goes back to, like, Simon is with the people from the Hilltop, and their guns are given up, obviously. He tells Maggie that she has to agree to their terms, and basically they have to be the farmers and keep producing as they have been, that they belong to Negan, and that they'll do what they say or else. He talks about how Gregory made a mockery of him once, and that he's hoping that Maggie will do a better job, and basically tells her that they own them. and out, he decides to shoot Neil in the back seat, like out of nowhere, pretty much just shoots him dead to kind of prove a point and to show them that this is just one of many of your men that we're going to kill because of your actions. So, anyways, Neil gets shot and killed. They threatened to put Maggie in like a box and like cage her in almost and take her to Hilltop in that box and put her on display in front of everybody, to prove a point as she gets killed. But obviously strategically she tells them whatever they want to hear to get out of the situation. So anyways, Dwight actually shows up and shoots the saviors, and of course ends up getting shot in the process, in the arm very badly by the female savior that we've seen a lot. She quickly realizes that he's the mole, and she gets away, so she's obviously going to tell Negan and the saviors who was really behind them like getting attacked. So Dwight later, as we see when Daryl and when everybody else shows up, he tells them like to Daryl and Tara and Rosita that he has no choice now. There's no going back. He made his choice. He's standing with them, and now Negan's gonna know. So we can only imagine what's gonna happen there. So we see Negan. He's inside Alexandria at this point. They're looking for Carl because he likes him so much. He wants to like almost like tie him up, but keep him as like his pet. And he makes the comment that he's gonna go to Rick's and make some spaghetti. And while all of Alexandria is getting blown up, pretty much. So we see Carl, like everybody's blowing up buildings with like different variations of bombs and napalm and rocket launchers and anything else that will work and that's imaginable. And he uses the smoke cover and his own smoke cover to hide in the sewer. And and as we see later, the more Alexandrians are in the sewer. So we see Eugene. Now, again, I don't know what the heck is up with Eugene. Eugene cannot figure out what he wants to do. Like, he's in this weird flux state of not being able to choose a side. He's burning candles from both ends here, and I don't know what to think about him at this point. But like, because he obviously got the saviors out of their predicaments, which we learn later is because somehow he was able to channel sound with operatic music away from Sanctuary somewhere. Where that is, I don't know, but obviously it has drawn walkers to it since they are drawn, of course, by sound. And how he did this, don't have a clue, but I'm sure we'll find out later. And Dwight actually tells the like Daryl and all of them that Eugene was the one that got them out. So they know it was Eugene. How exactly it happened, I don't know yet, but we'll find out. So Eugene goes to Gabriel, and he basically tells him that he's come to his own decision after not being able to sleep, after all the decisions he's made. He's, he'll get up, after trying to sleep and drink like tons and tons of wine, can't go to sleep still because his conscience is weighing heavy on him. So he goes to Gabriel and tells the doctor that's there that Gabriel believes he is on a mission from God to bring the doctor back to Hilltop to oversee the birth of Maggie's baby, and that he has decided that they should basically go. And he lets Gabriel know that he needs to escape, that the guard that would prevent them from leaving is incapacitated with an upset stomach and diarrhea, and somehow aka Eugene somehow got him to get sick to his stomach, and accidentally drops the keys to a vehicle that's waiting outside for them and leaves. And Gabriel tells him, he did the right thing. And, Eugene's like, did I? What, what even is the definition of the right thing? And Gabriel says, you know that you are doing the right thing. Deep down, you know it. So, because Eugene actually says he can finally sleep now. I guess because he finally realizes this is what it was going to take. So, I don't know what to think at this point. Eugene cannot, for the love of his, for all things good and all things evil, whatever, make up his mind. So, anyways, Ezekiel kind of is skirting around the edge of where these saviors are with his people in the kingdom, and he draws up a line of gasoline to some barrels of, I guess, oil or something, or gasoline, and sets this perimeter on fire. The saviors go to investigate. He uses the distraction to get his people out. He drives a bus through the area to get them away from these saviors. They get out. Carol comes back and sees him as he's shutting the gate and tells her to save his people as she has saved him. And he closes the gate and basically gives himself up to the saviors. Then we see Maggie get back to Hilltop and pulls out the savior that hurt and was given a hard time to Jesus earlier. And he's yapping away, and she just shoots him out of, in the middle of his, dialogue, or monologue, I guess I should say. And lets it be known that the saviors killed one of their own with Neil earlier, and that she shot him, and it was okay, but not as good as it, she wanted it to feel. And there could be more, and, tells the people to strengthen the borders, fortify the barriers and the wall, and to set up additional guards to look out for incoming saviors, obviously. So Michonne arrives at Alexandria. Of course, she's worried about Judith and Carl, and doesn't know where Rick is, and the other people inside. She's kind of in a daze, going through, we see her, slice open a zombie head, and, slice the living crap out of a savior multiple times, because she's so, beyond herself, worried and upset. And then Rick arrives, and he's trying to find the others. They go down to the sewer. They find the rest of the people. They find Tara and Rosita, and they see the Drifter. And the Drifter apparently was able to bring them down here to this place where they're kind of safe for now, away from these fires and away from the saviors and the goings on in Alexandria. We see Rick and Negan going at it, because he does first go into his house, and Negan hits him. They get into a fight, they're punching each other, and we see that Rick gets some sort of golden ball and clocks him upside the head and all this stuff. I don't know what happened to Negan. We don't really see what happened to Negan. We know he's not dead, obviously, but somehow Rick gets out of there and is able to get down to the sewer. But in the meantime, I'm really curious where Negan is going to go. I guess he's going to wake up and have a huge bruise on his head, and of course have an even stronger vendetta against Rick and crew, of course. But yeah, so Rick, actually, we see he gets Lucille momentarily. I was like, yes, come on, Rick, you gotta bash his head in with some Lucille here. But that didn't happen. No divine retribution yet. But they do find the others, like I said before, in the sewer. And the episode ends with them finding out Carl kind of he has a bandage on his stomach, and he seems really out of it. Like he was very disoriented as he was walking around Alexandria earlier, and I personally thought it was a combination of like the like flashbangs and smoke bombs and all the napalm and rocket launchers going off, and he's trying to escape, and like houses are getting blown up beside him left and right, and he's kind of getting hit by the aftermath, or that blow. And come to find out, though, he lifts the bandage and it's very clearly a bite mark. So Carl has been bitten. When that happened, I don't freaking know. And this is, I'm not fully caught up in the comics, but last I read, I had read up to the point where Negan is, spoilers. So if you don't want to know this, you may want to fast forward. But spoilers, Negan is imprisoned in Alexandria, and Carl is dating a whisperer. And but here he's bitten. How that happened, I don't know. And where they're going with this, I sure as heck don't know. But okay. Carl's been bitten. And yeah, that's how the episode ends. So one hell of a way for a mid-season finale to go and to end. Of course, it's as action-packed as it can pretty much possibly be, while keeping it coherent and able to be understood. But the how it's got to be, I guess it goes for everybody. The Negan's making demands. All his right-hand men, except for Dwight, obviously, are making demands. Like Simon, the guy at the Kingdom, even Ezekiel's kind of choosing how it's got to be by putting himself on the line. And as we see later, we see Morgan show up, and he overhears them giving out commands, and obviously they're going to capture Ezekiel. So what he's going to do, I don't know. But we know that Maggie's back at Hilltop. We know that Rick is with Michonne and a bitten Carl in this kind of sewer. We know that Eugene is, I guess, having a change of heart. I don't know. What I want to know is what happened to the junkyard people, because all of a sudden, one second they're there at Sanctuary with Rick looking at the decimated remains, and the next second they're like, poof, gone. So where they went, I don't know. But yeah, so that was the mid-season finale. There's a lot of questions left. How the heck Rick got away from Negan and what happened to him. It was a big flurry of, fighting and all this stuff and craziness. So anyways, that was, like I said, one hell of an episode. And, but yeah, so that's pretty much all I got. I would love to hear your thoughts and what you thought of the episode, and kind of your own reactions. So definitely comment those below. Just a reminder, we are giving away 2 games, Call of Duty World War II and Star Wars Battlefront 2. And the last day to enter will be Wednesday by 4 a.m. And I will be drawing a name that morning and announcing it. So if you want in on how to win those games, check out our video. It's the giveaway video that we did just to tell you how to win. So check that out. The biggest thing is to definitely subscribe to the channel. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/thenerdettes. And we'll definitely have a lot more content in store for you guys, a lot more giveaways. So definitely check those out. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys back again later. Bye.